How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and you can see where we are, but I gotta at least give a bit of head to. First, we did the ending for Michiru's route. It was fantastic. Honestly, I'm not sure something can top that for me, but I also understand that a lot of people have a lot of decisive opinions about it. And while there's lots of fans of Michiru, there's lots of fans of everyone else, and so you have to understand, it might not seem like it, but I've been wrestling with this for I'd say more than a week now. I knew that this choice was coming, and I knew I wanted to make it, but I just was flip-flopping a lot, to the point where I should have recorded this video probably a few days ago. This is far more last second than I like for this video to be being made, but that's the thing, is I'm not sure what else I can really do about it because I was just so torn. Now, there were only 3 real choices, and I've been considering a lot, but I also know I'm kind of considering in the blind because I don't know everything about all the other characters. And, you know, I followed the Michiru route kind of on instinct, and then I was thinking about, okay, so what do I want to go back to next? And based on the characters I've seen, the sides of their stories that we've witnessed, and the glimpses I've seen of each of the paths so far, I narrowed it down essentially to 2. Sachi and Amane. Now, why am I here at the Sachi page? Well, I was really struggling with this for the past couple days. Literally, it was actually getting almost depressing trying to think about it. Your comments were great and helpful, but I also know deep down, I'm going to play the game I want to play in the order I want to play, and it's got to come from me. I can't just follow any person's advice. And plus, it was all decisive anyway. Honestly, it wasn't that helpful. But it was still good to hear everyone's points of view. And so I was torn between the 2. And here's the thing. From the outset, if I were to ask myself, which character do I find the most interesting and most oh, this would be the girl I would be the most interested in, in a romantic way if it were real life and it weren't Michiru, that would probably be Amane. But at that same hand, I also kind of came to a realization ultimately, and there were 2 factors that really sealed the deal for me. Factor number 1 was that while Amane is definitely interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing more about her background, I don't question Amane's motives or why, really wonder at her actions and why she does what she does nearly as much as Sachi. Sachi is an enigma. I just do not understand why she would be motivated to do what she does. And I'd worry it would be just this kind of dumb thing, but there's a lot of people that really like the Sachi route, so I feel like that it's probably well handled and genuinely engaging. So that makes me very curious. So that curiosity factor got really high, and then I went back and was reviewing the lead ups to the choices. And while Amane's is really sweet and very supportive and very wholesome, I remembered I was staring at this screen. And I remembered, at the time, I wasn't sure if which one I wanted to click and why, because it went against so much of my instincts to not praise Sachi and give her a head pat. But something told me, that was going to lead me down the path, and I wasn't sure if I wanted that at the time. But on reflection, I'm starting to wonder if that might have been the mistake. And maybe ignoring that, maybe in a blind, kind of beeline for Michiru that I probably was on, even if I wasn't, willing to admit that. If that colored my initial reaction and my knee-jerk. And my knee-jerk was, to deftly dodge everyone else's up until this point. But then here, it was genuinely a painful choice. And so then, you put those together, and it barely tipped the scale towards Sachi. So I feel like we're going to explore this. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really fun. I'm also going to play the other routes, and once we're done and all said and done, I'm going to have a big, what I call a rap party, where I kind of conglomerate all my thoughts about the entire game and just break it down and talk about it. And I do it live, so if you have the means, you can show up and you can ask me direct questions, you can ask for clarifications, you can also bring up points that maybe I stumble past, but I've found that most people think that the rap parties are pretty thorough enough. I take down notes, I make sure to kind of think things through, and whilst it tends to be a little lengthy, I also feel like I'm able to kind of keep it reasonable, and I should also be able to break it in parts that make it easy so that it's not like you get like fish through and find my thoughts on a specific character. So don't fret. I will play through the entire game and I will see everything and I will be able to tell you all my thoughts. But for now, we're back here. We rewound time and it's time for us to give Sachi the praise that she thoroughly deserves because she's a good girl. And while I have no idea what's going to come because she's like the most bizarre of all the girls in the school. Like, it's weird to say that, but everyone else I kind of get, and I can see what makes them tick. At least I could pierce the veil a little bit. I genuinely cannot fathom why Sachi behaves the way she does. So I'm kind of excited to break it down and see, like, what is this gonna end up playing out like? Like, how is this gonna work? So, without further ado, long intro done, let's get started. Sachi, you're a good girl. Alright, fine. I don't have any problem with praising you if that's what you want. I mean, it's such a real thing, like I said, that's probably what I would actually say in that situation. My heart was melting at the time. I was just like, oh my gosh, girl, like, really? Like, all you want is just to have a genuine, like, compliment. Yeah. Defeating me in a match is worthy of recognition, and it's only natural to praise someone when they deserve it. I think someone might have told me the exact same thing a long time ago. What's wrong? Did I say something strange? Sachi responds to my question with an unusual haste, then bows deeply for a moment as if to collect herself. So, as for the details, what kind of praising are you looking for specifically? Careful what you wish for. I'm not sure if I'd want that. That's quite the vague request. That said, it wouldn't be fair to break my promise after the fact, even if something as inconsequential as this. I draw close to Sachi and reach out my hand toward her head. What the Oh, I forgot. She does have that tendency to take things to like this really weird extreme. What? I'm starting to question my decisions. Normally, Sachi can strip off her clothes in public without a hint of embarrassment, but at the moment, a rare pink blush is spread across her face. Just for future reference, that sort of line should only be used when you're getting in bed with someone. I mean, he's right, but okay. I don't know if we're gonna get a better CG than this. This is pretty good. I gently shoot down Sachi's feeble and entreaty and place my hand on top of her head. Aw, never mind. Yep, there we go. Boom. Thumbnail. Though her hands look a little strange. But as far as I understand, hands are hard to draw. They just are. So, yeah. You beat me fair and square. Pretty amazing work, Sachi. This has to be the first time I've ever touched Sachi's head. And yet, the feeling of her hair under my hand is oddly pleasant. There's even something vaguely nostalgic about the sensation. Very nicely done. Aww. Sachi went stiff as a board at first, but soon closes her eyes in apparent pleasure. As her body relaxes underneath my hand, I begin to slowly pat her head. See, this is super wholesome, but I feel like it's gonna take a turn to the weird real quick, because, you know, it's Tales of Grisaia. Right, left, right. Every time my hand moves, a little bit of gibberish dribbles from Sachi's mouth. It's kind of amusing to watch. Oh, this... Oh boy. I'm really not doing that forcefully. Sachi sways back and forth helplessly in time with the gentle movements of my hand. This is another first for us, but for some reason the motion comes naturally to me. Aw, that's very cute. Right. Snapping out of it at the sound of Sachi's voice, I quickly draw back my hand. I think I ended up going at her head for a reflexively long period of time without even realizing it. And for some reason, she's currently staring intensely at my hand. You can't take it with you, it's mine. So, how was it? Did the pit of your stomach get warm again?
はい。風見さんの手からはマイナスイオンのようなものが出ているんでしょうか。不思議です。
Uh-huh. Sure. In typical Sachi style, the girl asks these questions with a perfectly straight face. If so, I'd have to see about selling off the technology to some manufacturer of home appliances. Sounds like exactly the sort of feature a gullible housewife of the world would love to have in their toasters.
では、私はその技術を買った家電メーカーを買い取ります。
She's like, no, it's mine. I'm buying the rights for distribution and you're not going anywhere. That's like corporately adorable. Is that even a thing? You have that kind of scratch lying around?
持っていませんよ。
Not surprising. Well, anyway, I guess this should do it for my penalty.
はい、風見さん、グッジョブです。
Sachi offers me the enthusiastic thumbs up. Yeah.
それで、もしよければなのですが、これからも私のことを褒めていただけると嬉しいです。
I suppose. I wasn't really planning to cut off your compliments in the first place. If you acted a way worthy of recognition again, I guess I'll probably praise you again.
ありがとうございます。
I thought my response kind of brisk, if anything, but Sachi blushed the same shade of pink as before and offers me a bow of thanks. That said, if we happen to duel again, I fully intend to win.
では、私も今から山ごもりの修行を始めます。
Right, I forgot. This is Sachi we're dealing with. She takes everything up pure literal. Gotta be careful. That's your prerogative, but don't forget to attend class, alright?
そうでした。私、授業のことをすっかり忘れていました。
Again, good job thinking ahead, Yuuji. I'm glad you've got a beat on her. The thing about Sachi is, you know this isn't a joke. She genuinely did forget. In any case, I've learned something from the time I spent with this honest girl today. The act of praising someone, the sensation of petting their head. I've been making a habit of rustling Makina's hair around lately, but somehow this felt different. Exactly what that feeling was remains unclear to me, but whatever it was, for some reason I enjoyed it. I'm glad you can come to terms with this so easily. I guess Makina's games aren't all bad. Somehow, those had become my honest thoughts on the matter. The game was still ridiculous, though, if you remember. It's like the one where you added random syllable sounds or vowel sounds, or I can't even remember. Back when why is it blue? Oh, is this her? Okay. I was gonna say, like, why is the text a different color? Hello, from the editing room on TheBlueShifting. Yeah, so I noticed the text different. And I assumed that at first this meant we were seeing a different perspective, and then I start to reflect that, oh, maybe this is an indication of a different route, and I even reflected on this idea that, maybe the text just happens to stay white for the Michiru route, but then if you're on the Sachi route, the text is blue, and then each route has a different colored text. No, I find out later. Well, as you'll see, I finally pieced together that this is actually replaying stuff I've already seen. Granted, throughout the entire thing, I was commenting on the fact that it seemed really familiar. I felt like there might be slight differences, and my running theory was literally the fact that perhaps all of the routes start with a very similar, point, that the narrative and bullet points of the story post, the selection of the route you have are very similar. They start at a very similar spot and then branch off. It took me a while, but it kept getting more and more you could almost see me scratching my head thinking, why is this so familiar? There's something strange going on here. And then, as you see, I finally start to piece it together. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the last little oops that we're going to be having, which frankly, you might know better. Again, I'm going into this blind. It might be painfully obvious at this point what's gone wrong, or maybe it's completely understandable, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts, but please continue watching. You'll kind of see my thoughts coalesce here, and then we proceed on to stuff that is new and worth watching. And then, you can fill me in without spoilers on what happened at that point. But yeah, just wanted to clarify, I wasted a lot of time here. Anyway, back to the game. But despite that distinctive golden hair, this is the Mahima Academy uniform she's wearing. I can't convince myself that the girl is Michiru. Very strange. Are those there? Oh wait, no wait. Maybe this is the same. Do I have to, like, reject this path, too? Or did I mess up and not actually qualify for Sachi's route? Michiru? Answer me. Yeah, this is looking really, really familiar.
Ah, ごめん。少し休んでいただけ。
Alright. So, I'm concerned. I want to see what happens if I skip. It's letting me skip. Okay. So no, it's nothing. Because that's where, like... Same day, might appeal this, but at the very least, something to matter. No, it's nothing. No, it's nothing. Alright. And now I can't skip. Okay. So... I hadn't seen this before. So I did choose the other one. So... Do you end up seeing, like, all the preludes for the girls before it launches into the path? I guess if Michiru was the last one, maybe before, like, I thought Yumiko was the last one, but maybe she's the default route? And because if that's the case, then this is skipping the, okay. So I did replay a whole bunch of the game that I didn't need to play. Maybe I should cut most of that out then. I should have known. It felt very, very strange and different. Okay, but anyway. So, no, it's nothing. And then, so we'll pick things up here because now with the skip button's no longer lit up. So, okay. Okay, we're here. Apparently, I just replayed a whole bunch of the game and, like, I was pretty sure it was something I'd played before. And I just was, but it was like, I just wasn't 100% sure, especially because the text, I swear that, because like now look, the text is white when it was blue before. Is blue an indication that it's stuff you've seen? Maybe that's what it was trying to tell me. It's like if it's white text, it's a first time through, and if it's not, it's like, maybe that's what it was. Okay. I'm overthinking this. Genuinely, I am. The strange little interlude must have been nothing more than a new part of her act. She'll no doubt be back to normal Michiru soon enough.
So, それならいいんだ。
I hate this though. Like, no, don't let her go! Ah, sorry, I scared off the cat.
大丈夫。あの子は私に懐いてるから、ここに来ればいつだって会えるし。
I'm sorry, Dark Michiru. I want to be here with you. I see. Alright then, I'll be heading back to the dorm.
うん。私はもう少しここで休んでいく。あれ？ミチルは？
Her condition appears favorable. There's nothing in particular to be worried about.
人の話聞いてた？私は責任取ってきなさいって言ったのよ。
Yes, yes. I checked up on her. Isn't that sufficient? I'm not the girl's father, you know. I'm not obligated to spend all day nursing her.
それはそうだけどさ。
What, you still have a problem? She'll return eventually.
なんだ、チルチルまだ戻ってこないのか。ちょっと寂しいのよさ。
I agree. Listen up, Makina. Everybody needs to be alone at times. It's a basic human need. Respecting that is very important. You understand?
そっか。ユミちゃんは一人でいることも多いもんね。
That's very true. She does. An excellent case in point.
さすが風見さんです。そうですよね。いつも誰かと一緒だと息が詰まるということもあるかもしれません。
I mean, it's not like it's a huge, like, revelation.
じゃあ、本当に大丈夫なのね？
Yeah, there isn't a problem. I'll guarantee that.
それならいいんだけどね。
Just as promised, Michiru returned shortly thereafter. I spot her walking down the dorm hallway, chewing on something with a reinvigorated expression of a woman who's just passed a kidney stone. You're back, it would seem.
え、当たり前でしょ。ちょっと具合が悪くなって風に当たりたかっただけだもん。
She's got it taking her suppressant. What are you eating?
うるって、さっき帰ってきた時に校門のところでマキナに会ってね。おかえりチルチルって言いながら、ひょいって何かを投げるものだから反射的にパクって。
Oh my gosh.
もぐもぐしながらこれ何って聞いたら本物のウルテって言うから、そうかこれが本物のウルテかって思いながら食べてるのよ。やっぱりあれよね、本物は味が違うわね。
I think the nuance of Makina's real might be slightly different from what Michiru thinks, but it's probably best not to mention that. I see. Anyway, are you feeling better now?
もちろんよ。休んだら元気会長売れてもうまい。
Isn't that Michiru doing well too?
あのミチルってどのミチルよ。私は私じゃない。あんまり変なこと言わないでよね。もぐもぐ。
I see. Make sure you get to bed early tonight. Rest up and recover your health.
そんなこと言われなくても分かってるわよ。ふん、あんたなんか。
チルチル、はい。
パク。いやいや、マキナ、これ何よ。
それウルテ。
もぐもぐ。やっぱり三流品のウルテは味が落ちるわね。本物のウルテは美味しかったのに。
What the fetch is wrong with you? One other thing, Michiru. Take some stomach medicine tonight if possible. Get it from Sachi and not Makina.
わかった。でもなんで？
Because if you ask Sachi, she'll give you the real stuff.
本物の胃腸薬？一流の胃腸薬ってこと？効き目がすごいとか？
Just do it, alright?
もごもご、わかったわよ。なんかこれ、文具っぽい味がするわね。
I wonder. With this, the Michiru incident drew to a close. Human beings are multifaceted creatures. It's perfectly normal for someone to change their tone of speech depending on who they're addressing. Fairly significant shifts in their personality aren't uncommon either. Let's just brush it off. Something or other inspired atypical behavior for Michiru today, but I have no idea what the root cause was, and when you get right down to it, it's really none of my business. There's a line I shouldn't cross here, and I want to avoid tracking on muddy footprints all over my classmates' fragile hearts. I need to continue the exercise with restraint as long as I live in this place. Okay. New stuff. New things happening.
状況、セーブ。
Mystery. Okay, so something else is going on. So, cool. Finally here. Only took me 40 minutes to realize it. Everyone has their weaknesses. Human beings aren't omnipotent or anything. We're largely powerless, and so we must also be resourceful. We're born utterly impotent, and no matter how long we live and how much we learn, we'll always have more weaknesses than strengths. Our resourcefulness, then, is the tool by which we work around these fundamental shortcomings. Sometimes we find a way to conquer our failings. More often, we learn avoidance, ways to keep them from hurting us. Whatever the means, in the end, we gain the ability to scrape by. As weaklings go, we're a hardy breed. Whew. Didn't say that last part well. One afternoon, just as I'm leaving the shopping area in front of the train station, something catches my attention. I draw to a halt and turn to look. Oh, hey, Miko, what's up?
お客さんごゆっくり
Looks that can kill, and those who cringe in terror. If these were Nagasaki a few hundred years ago, you might guess someone had splashed mud on a samurai, but this is a modern town not far from Tokyo. Right in front of there is a young woman. I don't see this, but I'm now scared. Did I get a Yumiko route somehow? I'm pretty sure I got the Sachi thing. Ah, it's Sakaki. Just a moment ago, I'd sensed an ominous, foreboding aura across the street, powerful enough to inspire a momentary surge of concern. Thought there might be some territory attack in the making, but I guess it's just Sakaki being Sakaki. Might have been a bit on edge since I just paid a visit to Ichigaya to take care of some minor chores. Either way, I investigate the situation for safety's sake, only to find the individual in some ways more troublesome than your garden variety terrorist. Sakaki Yumiko? A curt and antisocial classmate of mine should about cover it. I'm rather amazed to find that she's capable of projecting such a ferocious aura as to fool my carefully honed instinct for danger. It seems she's still capable of surprising me. Quite impressive, really, though not as likely as many schoolgirls would particularly enjoy receiving that sort of compliment. Still, just what is she doing over there? Sakaki stands under a colorful yellow and red striped awning, glaring powerfully through the glass at the interior of a small store. Since the girl is usually defined by her emotionless, disinterested, and antisocial vacuum of personality, the intense passion in that gaze is somewhat surprising.
年頃の女の子がクレープ屋の前にいるんです。普 通なら何かしら妄想絡みの推測が出てもおかしくないと思います。
Sachi with a random exposition. Sachi, having snuck up beside me at some point, offers a typically helpful suggestion. Vast fantasies.
はい、そうですね。買ったクレープが急に破裂して全身クリームまみれになってベトベトになるとか、陳腐ながらもそういう妄想が一般的かと思われます。
Ironically, that's one of those things where, like, maybe in a visual novel or an anime that works, but honestly, like, in real life, it would not be at all intriguing. Not in the slightest. And also, even if it was the prelude to something spicy, I imagine that spiciness would be undercut by the resulting stickiness and discomfort that would come with such a exorbitant start point to something of a rendezvous.
生クリームプレイか。別に一般的じゃないでしょそれ。
Why is everyone here? Look, I'm not asking for a description of your sexual fantasies, Shachi. I'm just wondering what Sakaki's doing in front of that shop. Quickly outpaced by the conversation, I attempt to get things back on topic. In the next moment, somebody yanks vigorously on my sleeve. Hi, what do you want, child? Well, not really child. That's someone being Makina, of course. She's got a comically proud expression on her face, and I'm reminded of a toddler reporting that she went poopy all by herself to her parents in full expectation of their lavish praise. I hardly think this girl's likely to have any accurate information, but I suppose that can't hurt to ask. Well, Makina, do you know something about this? What's going on with Sakaki?
きっとユミちゃんはあの店に因縁をふっかけて奪い取っては無下に潰して更地にする気なのよさ。
Great, thanks, you've been a big help. As expected, asking Makina was an utter waste of time. Not that I'm expecting anything resembling a coherent answer, but I just can't help myself. Why would Sakaki need to do a thing like that?
え？だって趣味なのよ。
Wait, she just routinely buys people. When you use that disbelieving everybody knows that tone of voice, it almost sounds convincing.
それがユミちゃんの人間味なのよさ。
Okay, her human side is to what? Buy businesses? Violently snatching people's stores just to wipe them out of existence is her human side? Is she Microsoft? Even for Sakaki, that seems excessively malicious. I've been talking with these people for several minutes now, and none of them have said anything remotely insightful or even coherent. Have they collectively lost what little sanity they had left?
っていうかユージ、私たちが急に出てきても驚かないのね。
Yeah, I kinda just went and took it in stride. Huh? Oh, right, that's because I sensed your presence nearby.
へえ、相変わらず人間離れした回答ね。
Personally, I thought that bit about the whipped cream earlier was significantly more ridiculous. What was with all that anyway?
ああ、その話なら女に生まれたからにはやっぱ一度は女体盛りも経験しないとねってことでまとまったけど。
Okay, fair. Again, I will simply say, it's not nearly as exciting as you'd think. In fact, it tends to be more annoying in the end. At least that was my experience. You reached a consensus on that. The initial topic was ridiculous enough, but how the discussion might have developed towards and arrived at that conclusion is completely beyond my comprehension.
ちょっと一応言っておくけど、アマネが勝手に言ってるだけだからね。私は別に同意してないし。
Fair, but you're also in tsundere mode. I'm not sure I can believe that.
はい、みちる様は純粋なピュアガールですよね。
Uh-huh.
髪は金色に染めてますけど。
こらそこのメイド、あんたの今の言い方なんか引っかかるんだけど。あと
みちる様、10円あげますからここは抑えて。ビッチ顔でもビッチでないことは私も信じていますから。
You may look like one, but I know you're not.
あ、10円ありがとう。
Oh my gosh, Michiru.
じゃなくてフォローするつもりならもっとちゃんとフォローしなさいよ。
Michiru, calm down.
申し訳ございません。やはり髪も金色ですし、カラフルなピュアガールとでもした方がよろしかったでしょうか。
Oh, they always are just taking it out of Michiru.
論点はそこじゃねえ。ちょっと盛り上がるのはいいけど、あんたたちこれ以上騒ぐと私たちがこうしてるのが榊さんにバレて、きっと思いもつかない凄惨な復讐をされるわよ。
それは困りますね。みちる様、静かにしましょう。
到底納得できないけど、場合が場合だけに一応黙っとくわ。
Okay, okay. Again, I'm starting to worry that we somehow ended up on the Yumiko route, despite the fact that I didn't think that was possible. We'll see.
ユミちゃんが意味深にニヤーっと笑うと怖いのよ。ホラーなのよさ。
Okay, that's weird. Also, jump scare by Machina, just again. So, I'm kind of getting the idea this is a deliberate surveillance operation on your part. Covert activities of this sort are well within the range of my professional expertise, and this noisy crowd of schoolgirls would have to be the single least competent operation I've ever seen. I feel mildly dizzy. Well, let's put a positive spin on it and say, I'm always seeing new things when I'm with these people, although I'd never, ever want to work a job with them. Yeah, I agree. Of course, you can't say Sakaki's much better than the rest, since she still hasn't caught on. She's staring intently at a piece of paper in the shop window. Perhaps she's finally tracked down the menu that's killed her family. At least I hope that's the menu. If that sheet of paper has the manager's name written on it or something, I'd have to assume Sakaki's trying to play some sort of fatal curse on them.
もう30分もね。ああして微動だにしないのよ。店員さんもう半泣きだし。
In other words, you people have been here for half an hour as well. I mean, forget Sakaki. What's your objective here? I was originally thinking you came as a group just to send her, and just sent her by to buy everyone crepes.
いいえ、違います。第一、榊さんはそういう行動を取らないじゃないですか。
Sashi coming in with the solid logic. You do have a point.
私がたまたまユミちゃんを見つけて、みんなをメールで招集したのよさ。
A group stalking? You guys really get along.
人ごとみたく言ってるけど、お兄ちゃんだってそれでのこのこここまで来たんだから、おあいこなのよ。
But I just coincidentally happened to... Well, no, I guess you're right. Can't really deny that.
何よ、その玉虫色の返事。
Forget it. Truth of the matter is, I'd realized halfway through the sentence that defending myself would require a tiresome explanation and decided to follow up the path of least resistance instead. It's one of the little tricks I've resourcefully picked up to make my life among these people easier.
で、最初のさっちゃんの言葉じゃないけどさ、ユージは何してると思う？榊さん。
Well...
記号としては、ユミコ、クレープ屋。あ、そうだ、ユージ。それ以前にあんたクレープって知ってる？
I mean, if anyone wouldn't, it would probably be Yuuji. Think so? Whipped cream and fruit rolled inside a thin omelet, right? Not that I've ever eaten one. Well, no, maybe I did once or twice, but judging from the way I can't particularly recall the experience, it can't be a memorable of a treat. He's close. It's not an omelet, really. I mean, it kind of looks like one, but it's a pancake more like. Well, it's a crepe, but... I mean, in all fairness, I'm basically not that interested in food in the first place, and the crepe is a sugary thing aimed at women and children. I'd be downright strange if I was interested in it.
卵焼きというよりはパンケーキですが、基本的にはその通
Yeah,
り
see,
です。
Sachi, we're vibing, we're communicating here.
で、その甘いクレープ屋さんの前に榊さん。ユージはどう思う？
I see. I think I finally understand the situation. Okay, the genuine situation, I think she's just really struggling to decide what she wants. Either out of a just struggle to make a cohesive decision, or what might be more likely is that she's not quite sure what the different things on the menu are, but she's also not willing to ask questions because she feels like self-conscious of she looks like she doesn't understand what the crepes are or what the flavors are. And so she's trying to decide what flavor she wants while not knowing what the different flavors are actually like being labeled as. And so she's just in an endless internal struggle, and she refuses to ask for help. So yeah, that's my guess. In short, they're all just bursting with sheer curiosity. After all, a cool and collected Sakaki appears to be longing after the sugary treat. What kind of crepe will she order? What's the look on her face going to be like when the moment finally comes? How will she eat it? A new side of Sakaki Yumiko, the face she keeps carefully hidden from us, might well emerge in that moment. Normally, this sort of event would hardly warrant such high expectations. You'd fully expect Sakaki to casually buy something in her usual apathetic way, then casually eat it without any particular expression on her face. But for some reason, Sakaki appears to be seriously conflicted instead. This tantalizing hint of something out of the ordinary has clearly fueled the group's hopes. Scary. Sakaki, every ounce of her concentration focused on the menu in front of her, glares at the window like a thug trying to intimidate someone into submission. I can't say I've ever seen anyone buy a treat with an expression like that on their face. What on earth is she thinking about this moment?
おっちゃん、ケツネ一丁。ネギと揚げ玉ぎょうさん入れて、あとお出汁もよーけ目で入れといてな。
お姉ちゃん、うちうどん屋ちゃうねん。クレープ屋さんやねんで。
What the heck was that?
いや、緊張感に耐えられなくなったのよさ。
マキちゃんがいきなりボケたので、返すのに精一杯でした。
I like how Sachi is like an eternally in an impromptu staged play where she just says yes and to everything. Right, but why did you bother?
あんだけすごい顔してっから、突然そういうこと口走ったりしないかなって思ったのよさ。
Okay, look, not everyone's as bipolar as you. Sakaki merely seems fearsome at times, but the girl is frightening in her own right.
いや、榊さんはきっとこう考えてるはずよ。
And because you've got the sparkles, I can totally agree that you absolutely know what you're talking about, Amane. You're supposed to be the responsible elder here, right? Don't get caught up in Makina's games.
いいじゃないのよさ。つかユージ、あんたマキナとかサッちゃんと私への対応に差がないか？
Probably, yes. I'm treating you like the adult you should be. Also, do me a favor and don't try to talk to me like the kids these days at your age. It's just embarrassing to watch.
豊島か！私を豊島と蔑んでるのか？
She does kind of take the mom stance, so I get it. Forget it. I give up. Do what you want.
まあいいや。というわけで、皆さん榊さんに注目！
Amane moves the conversation right along with this lurching resilience of a drunkard trapped at the height of a midlife crisis.
乳首落としたんですけど。
What? What? Instantly, I feel the air around me freeze solid. Ignoring this completely, Amane forges ahead with her monologue.
右の絵、ピンクくて、ちょっと小さめなんだけど、感じるとよく尖るんです。知りません？
What world do I live in? That these sentences don't surprise me when they're absolute nonsense. What? Why is this why and why am I accepting it?
はい。まだ未使用っていうか、自分でちょっといじってるだけなんで、新古品かなって思うんですけど。ええ、ピンクで。そうです、ピンクです。サーモンピンク。
Please stop. You're disgracing yourself as a human being. Thank you, Yuuji. Thank you.
ダメだった今の。
Your beloved Kansai is the cultural capital of the Japanese comedy, isn't it? You can't tell the difference between a safe joke and one that's just awkward for everyone involved.
ちょっと待ってってそんなん乳首とかめっちゃセーフやん。あっちやったら父放り出して外を歩いてるおばちゃんとかおんのに、なんで私だけがねえ。
Is that who you take your example from? That explains so much!
もういいんですよ、あまねさん。
Thank you, Sachi.
さっちゃんまで。やっぱダメなの今のは。ねえ。
そもそも乳首って落ちんのか？
Naturally. Shed.
ごめんマキナ。ちょっとお姉ちゃん一人にしてくれないかな。
Finally crushed by the awkward atmosphere, Amane slowly crumbles into the ground in shame.
じゃあ次はチルチルの番ね。
Seems Michiru was anticipating this possibility. She's been keeping uncharacteristically quiet and inconspicuous since the comedy routine started. To no avail, of course. Something close to a panic spreads across her face.
っていうか、どうしていきなり順にネタ出しするのが義務みたいになってるのよ。
ノリです。こういうのは乗ってこそだと思いませんか？
でも自信ないし。
面白いとか面白くないのは実は関係ないのよさ。
Oh, it matters. You're gonna absolutely tear it to shreds if she isn't funny.
ここで大切なのはみんなが作った雰囲気に水を差して壊さないことです。みちる様、お分かりですよね？
わかったわよ。
この恨み腹さで
終了です、みちる様。
I thought it was funny. What was
言ったじゃ
Why
ないのよ。
did they spit it like that? Michiru lets out a strange, piteous wail and collapses to the ground. You people are seriously cruel.
チルチルが好きだからこそやったのよ。
Oh yeah, sure, because that's what you do. That's a fact.
ネタは残念ながら本当に面白くありませんでしたが、そんなことは些細なことです。そうですよね、みちる様。
もういい。話しかけないで。
Tears. I'm sorry, Michiru. Michiru responds to her friend's tough love by curling up into a fetal ball next to Amane, but I'm not well versed in these matters, so if Makina says this is motivated by affection, I guess I'll have to take her word for it.
じゃあ最後はお兄ちゃんなのよさ。
What? Me too.
はい、当然です。まさか風見さん、ご自分だけは例外と思われましたか？
Right. Well, I guess not.
期待してるのよさ。
こうなったらユージのがいくら面白かろうと八つ当たりしてやるんだから。
Great. Cool. Why do you feel the need to declare that? What a mess. Yeah, what a mess. Then again, even this nasty little game is nothing compared to the many seriously unpleasant varieties of humor I've had to deal with in the workplace. Consciously tuning out all sensory data, I turn my focus completely inward and rapidly begin to devise a plan. Speed is the crucial in this sort of thing. Is he gonna bolt? Gonna like, look there, shiny, and then dash away? A gag centered around Sakaki, huh? Maybe I'll play up the gap between her girly tastes and violent personality. Seems like it might fit the bill. Alright, that should work. I raise my head to find everyone has vanished. Amane and the others are gone. Even Sakaki, who had been planted like a statue in front of the crepe shop throughout our little routine, has suddenly gone missing. Nope. I know where she is. I'm guessing she's still around after all. She's not currently in my field of vision, but there seems to be someone emanating an aura of murderous anger behind me, so there's no mistaking the menacing metallic sound. Seems she managed to sneak up on me at some point.
何をしていたの?
Hold that thought. Can you try saying excuse me, which would make a better weapon, banana or strawberry flavored crepes, just for experiment?
何? 意味不明なことを言って煙に巻こうとしてるの?
Aw, that actually was a pretty solid one. Right. Sorry, forget it. You wanted to know what I was doing here? I was observing you, Sakaki.
そう。とりあえず殺すわ。
Yeah, good luck with that. Sorry, but that's well beyond your capabilities, as I think you've known for some time now. When I turned back, Sakaki was indeed waiting for me. Despite the anger smoldering beneath the surface, there's no obvious sign of rage in her face. She's expressionless as always. I guess I should interpret that as a positive thing, but it feels more like a letdown. Might have been interesting to see the naked emotion from her for once. Where did the others go?
一目散に逃げたわ。クレープ屋の前まで行ってメニュー一つ満足に選べずにいた痛い女によっぽど失礼なことを言っていたんでしょうね。
I absolutely called it. I absolutely called it. Oh, so that's what was going on there. Yeah, we were all kind of racking our brains trying to figure out what you were doing just standing there like a statue. To be more precise, we were amusing ourselves by inciting ludicrous theories, but I might as well leave that unsaid.
口を滑らせたのね。自滅というやつかしら。一生の不覚だわ。
Sure. Interesting way to say it, but okay. I really don't think that's that big of a deal. So, were you able to buy a crepe in the end?
途中でいらなくなったわ。
I see. What if we just pick one for you and let you try it?
最初に少し悩んだのよ。
Okay. Right. We still discussing this. He was just like, he was just content with the silence, and she just felt the awkward person. Silence is powerful. It can make people just start talking, but he had no intention of turning this into a one-sided interrogation, which absolutely works if you want to get people to talk. Often have a conversation for a little bit and then just stop talking, and eventually they get uncomfortable. They usually start talking or walk away. She's oddly talkative. I mean, if she were going to give me the real story, why lie about not wanting one in the first place?
両方とも美味しそうだから決めるのに迷ったの。
I see.
すごく迷ったの。
Right.
すごく迷ったの。
That hard a choice, huh?
笑うところのつもりだったんだけど。
Were you trying to be funny? 'Cause that a fact? Sorry, I guess I missed the cue.
いいけど。
Sakaki averts her face uncomfortably. I do feel bad about making her joke fall flat, but I seriously didn't catch it. To be honest, I don't understand what or why I'm supposed to laugh. Me too, bro. Maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know. What? Well, I guess the two of us just aren't cut out for this sort of thing. Sakaki must not be much of a comedian, but I'm hardly the best audience. So you never ended up making a decision.
決まったわ。
Then why not buy it?
そうね。
But you're not holding a crepe.
時間が経ちすぎていたのね。見たら店員がずっと怪げな表情を浮かべていたわ。
Oh, yeah, no, it's been like that for a while now.
すぐにこの店はもう利用できないと悟って立ち去ろうとしたんだけど、なかなか他の客も来なくて、離れるきっかけがつかめなくて。
So, wait, because you were indecisive, you literally will never visit it again. That's a bit extreme. Well, yes, since you were standing there glowering like it was an incarnation of wrath, I expect any potential customer fled in terror.
で、あなたたちの姿を見つけて、ようやくね。
Hey, well look, we did something useful. I see. Again with a menacing metallic sound, not that it's particularly intimidating to me. Of course, Sakaki has to be aware her threat is as hollow as well. I expect she's unsheathing her blade mostly as a means of concentrating her hostility rather than an expectation it will make an effective weapon.
笑い物にするつもりだったのね。
Don't jump to conclusions.
他にどんな理由があるというの？
Once you got that crepe and started eating it, I thought I might get to see you smile happily for once. Simple as that.
Huh?
Aw, that's actually really cute. Sakaki?
何それ？本当にそんなものが見たかったの？
Well, I'm a little interested, yes.
ふん。
Sakaki's the only reaction to my statement is a disinterested grunt.
でも、失礼なことをしたのに変わりはないわね。
If it seems that way to you, then I can't argue. Sorry about that.
いいわ。罰としてさっきの話、その幻想を粉々にしてあげる。
What, the delusion that we want to see you smile or that you won't smile? Say what? she just went to get one. What is this?
どうかしら。
I'm really not sure how to respond to that question. This was the punishment handed down to me. I'm required to watch intently as Sakaki eats her crepe. Apparently, Sakaki's plans to use this opportunity to crush my expectations that eating something sweet would prompt her to smile. Of course, this involved sending me into the creperie to buy Sakaki her treat. I have a nagging suspicion that may have been the main point of this exercise. That said, I don't think I've ever seen anyone eat a dessert quite that expressionlessly before. She's obviously doing it on purpose out of sheer stubbornness. It's like taking conscious effort for me to keep an amusement from showing on my face.
おいしいわね。
Sakaki speaks triumphantly, an expression of superior scorn spreading across her face.
どう？こんなものよ。面白くないでしょ？
Well, I have to say I was surprised.
そんなにありえない幻想に期待していたの？
Guess so. Her face tense and hard, Sakaki devours her whipped cream confection. If you look at it the right way, her overly serious expression resembles that of a child totally focused on stuffing their mouth full of sugar. Well, there's no point in making things even more troublesome, so I'll keep it quiet. Sakaki, blissfully oblivious of my perspective on the matter, crunches and munches loudly away at her crepe. Alright. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna end here. Oh, hi, JB.
私どもの調査員による榊由美子さんについての報告です。
Alright, so I'm getting the feeling of something here. I think for some reason, we're not actually on... No, wait, it is Sakaki Yumiko. Like, I feel like we're not on the Sachi route, which I don't understand because I thought I just had to pat her on the head. I mean, there were other little decisions that I made, but I guess I thought the impression I got at the time was that I could have gone down the Sachi route before. So am I wrong? Someone said in a previous mention that like there are checkpoints to get the Sachi route, but like in the new version, like the Steam version, they took those away. But I did have a restoration patch, and maybe the restoration patch reapplied that, so maybe I have to go back and get those gate checkpoints. So here's the thing. I'm gonna upload this video. Like, you've already seen it. I'm not going to just immediately redo all of that, but that's kind of what my plan will be. I'll wait for the comments to just confirm that like I'm on the wrong path right now. You know, because like, so you can tell me like, oh hey, no, you're okay, don't worry about it, and then I won't be too stressed about it, and I'll just proceed on. But my assumption is that for some reason I didn't hit the right flags. I went straight through past the Michiru route, and now I'm in the common route, which is the Yumiko route. So that's kind of my read on this. Granted, I do remember they had, after I was on the Michiru route, there were some like diverted paths and diverted stories that happened along the way. So that was kind of like the hope I was holding to with the whole crepe issue. But the fact that JB's here now talking about a report about Yumiko is making me think we're on the Yumiko path. So just let me know that, and I'll look up a spoiler-free guide if I have to. I know they exist. I didn't really look at one, but I know that they're available because I wanted to make sure I was ready for when I was going to start doing the other routes in the background, which is actually going to start pretty much immediately. Because I want to make sure I finish the whole game by the time we get to the end, but I'm not going to go too far. If it makes sense, it's okay. I do a lot of work behind the scenes to try and make sure that like the week after we finish, I've completed the game so I can do the wrap party and talk about the game in its entirety. And a lot of that has to do with like playing on my own behind the scenes to get the other routes down. So I'm going to start that process here pretty soon. And also I'll have that spoiler-free guide. So if I have to go back and hit all those flags again, you know, I'll just start at the beginning and do over. But yeah, I just genuinely thought we didn't have to. But yeah, so if we inadvertently started the Yumiko route, while technically, normally, I would say like, oh, well, here we are, we just continue this one anyway. Because we're only doing one more route in the channel, and I already decided it was going to be the Sachi route, we are going to do that. So if I'm on the Sachi route right now, no worries. If I'm not, I'm sure you'll let me know. I'll go back and I'll fix it, and we'll start next episode at the beginning of the Sachi route. Because you know what? Even if it's not technically the Sachi route, this has been a fun episode. So yeah, we're just going to keep it here. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Thank you especially to patrons and members and supporters and viewers and subscribers and likes and commenters and all of that. All of you are wonderful. Thank you so much. Everything you do means the world to me. I'm doing my best to make sure that I'm making good content for the future and that we're going to be continuing to move forward in a positive and exciting direction and just always have more to do. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for your attendance, and thank you for letting me know if I've completely messed this up, because I get the feeling I have. So it's gonna be the most if we are on the Yumiko route, it's going to be like the most clickbaity thumbnail I've ever made, but it's completely unintentional. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, and I hope to see you all next time. So until next video watching me, I've seen me next. I'll see you there.